student's point of view, I leave the floor to Lotte.
Okay, so I want to talk with you about some good points and some bad things about my experience with this entire project. Okay, so it's a way different. It's a different version of learning. Most students and teenagers nowadays, they don't like learning from books anymore. It's not kind of our thing anymore. Some people do, but not most of us. So what we tend to do is we go on social media, technology. That's what we like. And for us, it's a better way of learning. We learn faster with it. And through games and this, we speak. It's a way faster, easier learn way to learn a new language. That's how I learn English. For nowadays, people, this works so much better. I think my entire class went so much more forward with their German just through this project. There's no need to shame. Everybody is learning. Nobody exactly controls his language. Everybody is still in progress of learning, so makes a lot of mistakes. And because we make these mistakes, and we both make them, we're kind of like in our own safe place that we make mistakes, but it doesn't matter. It's a lingua franca, as a common language. We talk in one language. You focus on one thing, you do it a lot better. You focus on two or more things, you screw it up. Okay, some negative things. Of course, not everything went right. I mean, what does? We had a lot of technical issues. Our laptops at my school, they aren't really great. So we couldn't like go all out. We didn't do a lot of the stuff that we actually were supposed to do. So we didn't like that most of the time. The activities weren't always really clear to us. I think that's also sometimes because the communication was really rough because we do not speak the language completely because we're still learning. So we get stuck in a conversation and we stop talking. Due to that fact, we also cannot eventually finish the projects and make them well. Um, I had a lot of trouble understanding the digital world because it was completely made in German, and due to the fact that I'm still learning, I do not speak German. I do not understand it completely. I didn't understand a thing of how the virtual reality worked. Um, some of my friends in my class they did because they game like all the time. I don't. I read books. I'm weird. Um, so for me, it was really hard to do this kind of stuff, but eventually we got through and it went well. And to be honest, I'm proud of myself and of my class.
Yeah, very well. So that leads us to a few challenges. The challenge is for example, the organization. Synchronizing our timetable with the French school was very challenging. The technology, of course, as Lotte and I already mentioned, and the language level, because it is German, because we're both on A1 or A2 level, sometimes the communication stacks. So in order to make this type of project a success, support from a school in terms of timetable synchronization, in terms of IT support is very important. The international partner should be reliable. You should have the same vision, the same idea, the same goals. And last conclusion, do not bite off more than you can chew. We were maybe a little bit more ambitious than it was possible at that time. But it's always good to have a good idea and to move towards that idea. All right, thank you for your attention. If you have any questions, please.
Yes, yeah. I have one question.
Of course.
Because you told that everything was in German. So the Firestone viewer that you used was set to German?
Yep.
Great. So everybody now knows that the Firestone viewer that we use can be set to English, can be set to German, can be set to French manual and menu and stuff. So they put it in German and makes it a bit more difficult, of course. But
yeah, especially when the sound was not working, they had to constantly go to the Geräteeinstellung and then still configure the sound again.
Right. Okay. Well, that's good.
Right.
I have a question over here.
I have two questions. My first question is, what about your own amount of work? Did you do everything in your free time? That would be question one. And question 2, what about the curricular tasks? It's fascinating what you achieved, but what about, I don't know, grammar activities and, I don't know, the content that are supposed to be taught by the school book or the curriculum? How did you deal with these aspects?
Well, starting with the second question, we're very free in the way we can design our education. And that means that I have to constantly keep in mind, of course, what my end goals are, my objectives are, but the way we reach it is free, is liberal actually. So that was no problem. Considering question 1, short answer, yes. There was a lot of free time involved.
Thank you very much.
One question at the back.
I have a question. I was running this student, Lotte, was it right? Yeah. So I was wondering if you or maybe one of your fellow students, did you ever revert back to English in any case?
Like when we were like talking with each other.
Because your English is flawless, right? And your German needs maybe more work than your English.
Well,
Maybe the same was the case for the other student, and
I think I did at like one point that my partner did not understand me at all, and I wasn't having my best day, so I switched back to English and yelled a little bit at them for like, please just
it
say
feels like cheating,
something.
but that's totally fine. Yeah.
Because he didn't say anything to me anymore, and I was like, talk to me because I have to do something, and I might get a grade on this, and I want to get a good grade because I want to go to next year. So yeah, one or twice maybe.
Once or twice. Did you? Was that a problem that occurred during among more
Sometimes
students?
yes, sometimes yes. It is an advantage if you, as a teacher, if you walk around, if you check a little bit on their work and remind them of the fact that they're in German class, not an English class. But usually they stuck to German.
Interesting. Thank you.
And you were in constant communication with messengers.
I was, yes. Yes, during class, I had my group over there. I had my telephone with Messenger over here. So I was in constant contact with the French teacher, and I was checking with the students if everything was okay.
Yeah,
Yes, multitasking, yeah.
yeah. I have an online question. Did you prefer the virtual world or Big Blue Button? They're asking.
Well, we didn't use Big Blue Button, so
that's
I
good.
wouldn't know. But for me, sometimes it was quite hard talking to like a little avatar. I would rather have like a picture of somebody in my head to at least like know who I'm talking to.
Mhm.
So, and I think a lot of people in my class agree with me on that. So I think it would have worked. It wouldn't have gotten better results, but I think it would have gone better in the beginning.
But you did change Instagram, for example,
Yeah,
right?
mine doesn't do anything on it.
Okay. There were some students in our class who really continued the conversation through Instagram.
Oh, there's a question totally in the back.
Yeah, run.
Run.
Okay, well, thank you very much. I might have missed something, but Lotte, you are in 5 VWO, right? I'm assuming. I don't know.
I'm not.
What class you in?
I'm at 3 Mavo.
Ah, really? Ah, okay.
So,
Well, because
yeah.
just like my peer over there, I want to give you a compliment on your English, which is really good.
Thank you. Practice on
Where
it
did
a
you
lot.
learn that exactly? Because did you do a similar course, something, or?
No. Before I even went to high school or secondary school, I didn't have any English class. I just watched a lot of movies. I'm movie addicted.
Yeah.
And that's where I got my English and the American accent as well.
Yeah.
So that's basically how I got my English, and it only got better because I have great English teachers.
Yeah, I would assume then that your English is much better than that of your peers, and that you constantly get 10 out of 10 on tests, right? Or
Yeah.
I'm assuming now. But okay, so can you imagine? So I would say, so I assumed you were at five FAVO level, right? Which you're not. But can you think of a learning environment like this for your type of English? What can you learn there? Can you think of something like that, something similar?
Well, I don't know, but my grammar is really bad because I know how to speak mostly and understand. So because I basically only heard it in the beginning, my grammar sucks, and I could like need a little catch up on that. So maybe a way of learning better grammar that could work.
Okay, and also in a speaking assignment, then I guess, or written maybe.
Written because that helps more with your vocabulary. Nope, with your grammar.
All right, thanks. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, thank you so much.
Yes.
Good.